Hello, happy Wednesday. Thanks for joining me. We are going to be making some more granny square blocks tonight. So we have been sewing strips upon strips together, and we have one more strip to sew onto these, and then we will be ready to start chopping them up and turning them into the granny square blocks. So thanks for joining me here tonight. My name is Alyssa from Penguin and Fish, where we make cute embroidery kits for the beginning crafter. And I'm here every weeknight at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. And it's a time that we can relax and craft together. I work on projects from beginning to end, so you can be part of the whole project along the way. And it's just fun to come chit chat. Let's hang out. Let's just have fun making stuff together, you guys. So again, we are working on the Granny Square quilt. It is by Lissa Alexander for American Patchwork and Quilting. There is a link to the pattern below. We are well along with it, although we only work on it 1 week a month. So there is tons of time to catch up on it if you still want to work on this. But let's sew the last strips on, and let's actually see if we can make one of these blocks tonight. I think we'll get done with that strip really quick, and then we can start chopping one of these guys up. So, all right, let's go. All right, everyone. Thank you again for joining me here tonight. All right, so I decided, if you guys haven't seen or haven't been on this week yet, I have taken, well, up until this point, we've been making these blocks one at a time. And this week I decided, I'm going to just sew all the remaining strips together. So we've been doing this one by one, but now I'm like, let's just sew it together. My mom did that for hers too, and I thought it was just a nice idea. And we get to get rid of all our little plastic bags that we've been playing around with. I think these are all separated already. Okay, great. So I'm going to have my pile right here of these, and then we are on our last strips. They are the 7-inch strips, so this is my last big baggie, which feels good getting rid of this. So now let's see, I should have 16 of these pieces, so let's just do a quick count, and it looks like there's a whole pile of them that are the same, which is fine, and we might actually have a little bit more if I remember, but maybe not, I don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They're all very similar. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay. 15, 16. So there are extras, and I think I remember that from when we were cutting. Let's see how many extras we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we have quite a few extras. I think I'm going to try and make this be more random. I'm going to just go like this and then close my eyes and pull. This will be our first one. All right, this is going to be my first one. I'm going to just do that for all of these, and I'll pull a new one if it happens to match up, or if it has, like, if it's in the piece already somewhere else, then I'll try and switch it in case, just so we don't repeat. But all right, so this is going to be my first two. I'm just going to grab from the top, and then I'm going to close my eyes and grab from there. So I think that is the plan for this. All right, sewing machine. Hope you're doing well today. Let's get the light on. Okay. Take those shoes off, and we are set. So this is a little 7-inch piece, and we're sewing it onto the 14th inch piece. So remember, we have that goofy stair-stepping going, but since these are only 7 inches, it should go pretty quick. Hello, everyone. I'm just reading, brushing by some of your comments, checking it out. Oh, yeah, so yeah, to pick again in case there's too much duplication and stuff too. So now this is short enough that I can line it up the whole, line up my edge the entire way, just that 7 inches. So that's going to make this easier. I think I need to just kind of flip this back here, otherwise it's going to be my way. So we'll sew the 7 inches, then flip back. All right, so I'm going to grab my next piece here. And now I'm going to close my eyes and we'll go with whatever this one is. All right, we don't have that one in here yet. It's funny though, this is actually, I don't have this particular pattern in here yet, but all of these, not this one, but these other 3 are from the same collection, so it does kind of go together. But it's not, technically not one of the same patterns. So we're just chain piecing these all together again. So there's 16 of these total. So, and that means we have 16 blocks left over for this project. Okay, here's the next one. All right, closing my eyes. Oh, I picked 2, so I'm gonna go with this green. So I kind of chose there. Who knows, these little extra pieces might come up again somewhere in this project. We could sew the extras together and that could be part of our label maybe, or something. Who knows? I'm not tossing them, that's for sure. Oh yeah, make sure I've right-sized it together. Did I not do that this time? Oh, I did. Some of these are pretty saturated on the back, like the ink's gone through a little bit. All right, I'm closing my eyes. All right, a little zebra stripe. Ooh, that's gonna be a nice complement to all these pretty blues. Yeah, so a lot of these, it looks like I'm sewing on the right side, but I'm not. This is the right side, so we'll face that down. But yeah, I did have that one yesterday that I messed up, and I just left it. It was white, and it was pretty much white on both sides, so I figure, there can be one goofy one like that. Oop, it's catching all the threads there. All right, well, the sewing machine seems to be working great so far, so we are having some trouble with it, but I'm closing my eyes again. I apparently can't talk and close my eyes at the same time. All right, here we go. All right, so now in this case, it has one that's repeated, so I am going to attempt to do another choice, and you know, at some point we may just have to go with what's chosen. All right, but this one doesn't repeat, so we'll do this one instead. I'm trying not to repeat throughout. I like this one. So if I have enough pieces, I'll choose a different one, but at the end I might be forced to do one that repeats. We'll see. I'd like to get as much as this blue in as possible, because that's that Pantone color of the year that this is kind of based on, and I didn't have a lot of that fabric, so as much of that as we can get in, that'd be good. Okay, so I'm just reading some comments here quick. Oh, you have a 51-degree day coming up, so that'll be a whole day of sewing. Yep, we're supposed to get that in a couple days too. Does it matter which way you sew them on the background color? Oh, to the left or right side? So does it matter if I sew like this way versus this way? So let me think. Would that matter in the end? Because ultimately you chop them down and you'd be able to rotate. I don't think it matters because as long as the longest one is attached to here, and okay, as long as you're sewing the 1.5 inch ones, that's like all these next to each other, starting from the longest and then shorter, 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 shorter. Whether you do it one way or the other, you could go the the longest, shorter, shorter, shorter this way. I don't think it would matter because we're going to be chopping this up, and we're going to just be left with little strips or little squares of things together. So no, I don't think it matters. Yeah. So as long as you're still doing the largest one next to your main color piece, so this is that 1 3/4 inch. This one's actually a little bit bigger than the rest. As long as you're doing the longest piece next to it, and then the subsequently shorter pieces attached to that 1.5 inch one, the skinnier one, kind of like what I'm doing this way, but doing it the opposite direction, I think you should probably still be good. In this particular project. In another project, I don't know if that would be the case. But in this project in particular, I think you'd be fine. These little short guys are fast. All right, close my eyes. Ooh, bright green. I like this fun green color. It's gonna pop up a lot down at the end here, I guess, because I got a lot of it. I must have been running out of fabric when I cut these 7-inch ones and was just using like leftovers because a lot of them are kind of the same. Oh, this is a playful one. All right, closing my eyes. Little white animals. Ooh, it's just running smoothly today. That feels awesome. So I'm going to just go out on a limb and say that I think the reason my machine wasn't working after doing the bobbin, it could be still twofold, but I think one of the main reasons is I think it just got oil on it. So I think it was just slick, really, because after I wiped it down a bit, it seemed better. Or maybe it just wiped itself down over the couple days of using it. Because I didn't rough up the motor pulley, like I didn't sand it or anything like I was doing earlier. I just wiped it off and wiped off the wheel as best as I could. So I think the oil splashed up from the bobbin wheel. So I don't know. That's the theory I'm going with now. Ooh, Amy's saying I used my ruffler attachment on her featherweight this weekend. Better than buying a $100 plus foot for the modern machine. Interesting. I know what you're talking about with the ruffler, but I have not ever used one before. That'd be fun. I actually have. This one was a repeat, so I'm just putting it to the side. I actually have like a whole ton of feet. It would be awesome one of these days. This would be a good like finish it Friday thing sometime, but it'd be fun to go through all those feet. These guys here and see what they all do, because some of them do some crazy things, and a lot of it has to do with clothing and that sort of thing, but it'd be neat to like pick a few of them, look up what they do, and then try and do what they do. That would be a fun exercise, I think. I would like to do that. But But yeah, a ruffler, that's just gotta be crazy when it goes. A ruffler kind of folded up and whatever as you're sewing, so it must look like just a mass of crazy happening, just getting more bunched and bunched up. So that has to be fun. So much to learn. There's always more to learn. Oh, Colleen is thinking that the motor pulley, which is again that wheel connected to the motor that turns the bigger wheel, she says, I think the motor pulley gets too warm when the bobbin winding because it's going super fast. So yeah, that could be too. Like I think that's that second part of it. I'm thinking like, oh, it must just be getting like smooth, like too smooth or something. But yeah, maybe because it's being warmed up and then it just gets, yeah, too smooth. And then with that little bit of oil, maybe, I don't know. Because it was still slipping a little bit the next day. And then I think I got enough oil off. All right, we just have a couple more. It's hard to tell how many I have because this just still looks like a big mass of, you know, sewn together strips on my table here. I'm still closing my eyes and choosing. Although it's looking like we have a lot of the same left, so hopefully this all works out. So far, we've been able to not have any match throughout these strips, so they've been unique across the 6 items. Oops, I don't have to shake these ones up. So that's good. Let's see if we can continue that. All right, so far so good. I'm a little nervous about what my seam allowances are going to look like, though, because I think they're getting a little bigger than what they should be. So, I don't know. Our blocks might be a hair smaller than usual. Ooh, this one's cute. All right, little penmanship paper. Seems like it would go well with this black. I did this one correctly. This is the one that I put on backwards. Like the wrong side up instead of, or the right side up instead of down. This might be the one right here. Yep, this one. See, I put this one upside down. So, oh well. All right, this is our last one. So I'm going to actually just this is all that I have left, and I'm going to actually just choose one. So this is going to be the one that I choose, just because, again, this is that color of the year that was the inspiration for the color palette of this quilt. So if I can put that more in the quilt, I'm gonna, and it is one of my last pieces here, so something was chosen. Then it turns out we just have a few little white pieces left. Alright, let's throw a leader on here, and this is so I can take this off the machine without stopping sewing. Alright, let's snip these apart, and then we'll be ready to start making one. Alright. So here they all are. This is all that was left. So I thought I had 6 left, so maybe there's some hiding underneath here. Oh, yeah, here's another one. They shimmied a little bit, I guess. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, I only have 4, and I thought I had 6, so we might find some more hiding underneath here. But those are extras. Okay, here's the end of one, I think. So let's get, here's my little contraption again. I put the cap of the seam ripper in the top of just a thread spool, and then I'm going to put it open like this, and now I'll be able to snip all the little threads, and this will just sit here. And then I think we'll lay all these out nicely, and then we can just start picking from the top. Like, I'm just not going to like crinkle them up in a big bunch, because at this point I think I'm going to work on them one at a time. Oh, here's the other two. Okay, so the other two were just some of that penmanship paper, the Zahner Blazer paper. So that's fine. We have a lot of that in the quilt or in other blocks. So yeah, so let's just lay these out nice, and then I'll just do them one at a time, and we will just start making blocks again. This feels good though. It feels like a big task is done. So sewing all these strips together, that's nice. It is a huge, crazy pile of fabric though here, but I suppose it's out of the plastic bags and out in the open. Okay, so before I get too far, I did get this stuck in here, so let's see if I can get, let's see if this pencil can pop this out. Oh my god, I can't even push it out. Guess I gotta get like right on it, that's the trouble. I wonder if I can go this way. Nope. Ah! I need something less pointy. Like this. Ah, you don't fit! What else do I got? That's too big. I don't think the scissors will fit in that far. Boo. Alright, well, he's going to be stuck there for a little while, so this is how I'm going to store that for a bit. So, alright, let's just lay these out flat. This will help me store them later as well. And we can we won't press them yet, but we can kind of finger press them and see what we got. Actually, maybe I'll fold them up individually. So, let's just, or maybe this is silly, I don't know. Let's just lay them out. I'm not going to bother too much with unfolding them because they're just going to want to go where they want to go. But let's just at least get them all laid out so they're easy to grab later. Or they're easy to fold up all together. But we can get a little peek of what they're going to look like. This will be a little bit more organized than my giant stack that I have here. Oh, the hemostats maybe, yeah. Okay, let's try that. The problem is the end of the cap is kind of pointy, so it wants to be like pushed out with a flat surface. But let's get the hemostats. There, that's these guys. So let me know if you guys have these for your. Oh, Colette's saying use the hemostats too. Do you have one of these in your crafting arsenal? Let me know. I'm curious. I like using these to pick out corners, like if I'm doing a bag or something. And they're great for just like, if you need to turn something right side out, you can really grab like so tight. So they're just like, they're totally like medical hemostats, really. It has little grips on there, and you can lock it with these little saw edges there. They just clamp tighter and tighter and tighter, and you just kind of push them apart to open it. But this is kind of a really fun tool. I like it. But it's nice and long, so let's see if we can jab that in here. Like it's just sliding down the edge. I seem to think that I remember that I did this last time too. Ha-ha, there we go. All right, hemostats wins. All right, great. Yeah, let me know if you have one of those. I think I got it for, Beth has one, Kathy has one, Deborah has one. Barbara's asking where to get them. I think I got it when I was looking at scissors manufacturers. I might get some more. I think they're kind of fun. So I may try and snag some. And I actually, let me know what you guys think of this. So I am looking to get new scissors, and they actually have like these kind too. So this is it's like an embroidery scissors, but it's like a nice, fun, long scissors like this. I'll have to see if they still have them. But I like the top. It's got like this pretty, I don't know, like powder coating or something. But it comes in different colors and stuff too. But I like the size. I think it's kind of fun. And I think it's the same place that does the hemostat. So it'd be fun. Some samples that I was looking at a while ago. But let me know if, some scissors like that would be kind of cool. Oh yeah, Luann is saying you can get hemostats at like pharmacies and like Walmart. I know they're used a lot in the crafting industry now. Oh, they're saying never heard of them. They're like for like surgeries and stuff to like hold needles and stuff when people are doing surgeries, I think, right? Hemostats, and they can clamp like blood vessels and stuff shut, right? They can just or clamp tubes and oxygen tubes and all that stuff. They just can clamp them super tight. And the nice thing about them, I think the key factor is that they lock. So once you got a thing clamped, you can let go and then it'll stay clamped. So that's kind of a benefit for sewing stuff too. But yeah, so I think it's like a medical device used in surgeries. But, as in a lot of things from other industries, sewing people have found uses for them. This isn't like all solids just about, except for this little white one. That one's kind of interesting. I don't think we have another one like that. Oh, suturing. There you go. Kathy says it's for like suturing. That would be a word. It's been a little while since I watched all the Grey's Anatomies, so memory's not great for all the medical terms. Oh, Christy says sutures is how we used them when I worked in the dentist office. So there you go. Sutures. Which is basically like tying thread. Using thread to tie something shut and using that to grab a hold is what I would assume. All right, here's the last one here. So we got our little stack. So this is looking so much more fun. They look like a whole pile of different flags, don't they? But there, so it's actually pretty long. So it goes all the way down to here. But now I'll just be able to like fold it up like this and put it in, probably another time, put it in the bin, my bin later when we're done. But right now, what I'm going to do is just have it laying out on the top here. And I'm going to take the top one off. And this is going to be our first one. So we will at least start this tonight. I know we're pretty far along already. But I think it'd be fun to try and start one. So, all right, the first thing. Ooh, this is going to be a challenge. It's been a while since we worked on this. So first of all, let's turn on the iron. I know we'll need that. Let's grab a rotary cutter and my cutting glove. So I'm going to start out by just cutting off these segment chunks. So remember, we sewed all different lengths together, so it'll stair step up. We're actually going to divide those. So, like for example, we're going to cut right here. So this will be a section with 6, and then we'll cut right here, and this will be a section with 5. Cut right here, a section with 4, and all the way down to 2. And we have a lot of extra, so I'm actually going to eyeball this. I think I do a better job like this, eyeballing it. And I'm going to just crawl right up there. And I know this is crazy. Feel free to use a ruler, but I like the idea that, ooh, I can just shimmy up there. There's about like a ½ inch leeway on either side, I think, with this. So I have a little bit of leeway. Yeah, let's try it this way. For like if I don't get this perfectly cut. And like I said, I haven't even ironed yet. I am just dividing this up. So this is a little bit different than the instructions. But we've kind of adapted the original instructions as we've been working on this. And I really like this way where we can sew all the strips together before cutting. And then we can cross-cut them all at once, which is going to be great. All right, so that's step 1. All right, now we got to press it. So do we remember which way we are pressing it? So evens go one way and odds go the other. So odds were like away from, oh, what was our way to remember it? Evens, what was the fun memory thing? Evens away. Okay, Amy says evens away. So the even ones, we are pressing the seam allowance away from the teal. So we're going to press it this way. Was it same as the letters? Oh, evens. Well, evens away. Oh, I forget. That doesn't, wait, same number of letters. Evens. Oh, that's how you memorize it. Oh, interesting, Amy. So evens away that is an even number. Odds out. Okay. All right. So, all right, I'm going to press away from the teal. So the whole idea is that I want to press the seam allowances in opposite directions so that I can later nest the seams together. So this one I am pressing away. So all the evens I'm pressing away from the teal, and all the odds I'm pressing towards. All right, so this one has 3, so it's an odd number. So this one I'm going to press towards the teal. So I'm just kind of going along the edge here. Try not to get them all curved and crazy, but let's see how I do. I'm thinking there's a better way to press these, that I'm not doing them too well. Getting a little crooked. They look fun together though. That's for sure, these colors. Okay, and I'm just going to stack them here. All right, here, this one has 5 in, so this one's away. Wait, towards. Just kind of getting it started. And then we'll go to this side. So we are getting that pressing in. It's just happening here. So I know it's stressful not to have it all pressed while we're doing all that sewing and all that. But we're getting it done now, and it will be just fine. This is pretty. This one's going to be pretty. All right, this has 4, so this one we're going away from the teal. So the teal is that outer color. So whatever you picked as your main color, like what you're going to have as your borders and sashing and that sort of thing, that's your teal. That's your version of that. So we're working on the one where I accidentally sewed that one strip upside down. So that's kind of a funny one to start out. Oh, is this the last one? Oh, I guess so. I thought this felt like a couple. All right, this is 6. So this is away. All those seam allowances away. Just get it from the front, make sure everything's nice. Yeah, I don't think there'll be quite time to finish this one, but we might be able to finish this one and do a whole nother one tomorrow now that all our strips are done. So that'd be cool. So we get 2 done this week at least, plus all our strips prepped. All right, you guys, so now this is the part that I like because we would have had to cut these all individually before, and now we are going to cut them all at once. So we're saving us time now compared to the instructions. So I'm just aligning one of these lines. I'm just going by the teal. I'm aligning it on a ruler line here just so I'm not, getting too wonky. And I'm just kind of checking to make sure everything else still seems straight. And then I am crossing over an edge on a vertical line, and that's what I'm going to cut. And then we're going to cross cut quarter or 1.5 inches. I'm just plopping another one down here. It doesn't matter that this is the 2 one. I'm just kind of grabbing them from my stack. So I'm going to scooch over a little bit more. I got some little threaded corners there. All right, 2 more. I'm trying not to get it too thick because it's a lot to cut through. So just a couple layers. All right, I think that'll do. So I've just plopped them all on there. And now let's get the ruler. I'm going to cut that one nice edge off. Or that one edge off to make it nice. Let's say it that way. All right, let's get the glove. Oh, Jolene, yes, I did write, which Jolene's saying, isn't it on my bag, the instructions for the right or left? I do have that written on my bag. I just knew that we had like a remembering device to remember it, and I couldn't remember what that was. So that's the problem. All right, so this is scrap. We don't need that. This is actually, all these scraps would be good on a pom-pom. Oh, it's kind of coming apart. Like now whenever I see fabric scraps, I'm thinking, oh, could be a pom-pom. All right, I'm going to just rotate this whole thing now, just so I don't move any of these pieces of fabric. And then I'm going to use my ruler to do the 1.5 inches. And we're going to go, I think we need 4. 1.5 inches. So this is cool. We're actually turning our strips now into just sewn together squares, basically. All right, so that's our first one. I'm just moving it just so I can see my nice straight edge again. Okay. 2. Oh, Amy's saying a strip ruler would be great for this. Oh, my mom has one of those, and I keep meaning to try it out when I'm visiting, but I don't know. Maybe I should just bring this project next time I'm there. Then I'll be forced to give it a go. Because, yeah, I wouldn't have to move the ruler. I wouldn't have to move anything. I would just... a strip ruler is like a really big square ruler with... indents basically for the cutter, so you could just put the ruler down and cut without moving anything like what I'm doing now, and you'd be good to go. So I do want to give those a try. So this is the last cut, so you can see I do have quite a bit extra, which is great. I mean, it allowed me to be a little sloppy earlier because I knew I was going to have enough. All right, so that is more scraps. All right, and there we go. So we are ready to start putting this together. So let's just shimmy these off of the mat. And we need to gather a few other items here. So it's the two last things in baggies. And that is our 1 3/4 inch squares and our little 1.5 center squares. So I decided to have a little red center in all of my squares. It's like the only moment of like non-blue and green. So let's just grab one of those. So there's 36 total, because there's 36. Ooh, pretty. There's 36 blocks in this. And I think I'll just keep those in the bags, since they're not really sewn to our strips, so it doesn't make sense to do it that way. And then we need 4 of these. So this is just a stack of squares. Guessing I made more than I need of this, but we do need 4 for each set of strips. All right, 4, and it can go back to his home as well. Okay, there we go. So here are all the elements of our block. We're actually going to set some aside for right now. I suppose we could lay this out maybe just to, well, how much time have we got? Yeah, well, let's just keep going. I was thinking we could lay it out to see what it was going to look like, but that takes some time. So we'll just jump ahead and try and sew fast. All right, this is our centerpiece that we're going to set aside. We're also going to set aside the piece that has 6 in. So we don't need the piece that has 6 in until later. So let's just grab all those. Ooh, this is going to be such a pretty block. They all turn out so fun. All right, so those are aside. Don't need those. Now we're going to set these up. So we're going to do a little stair stepping. So we're going to take our first, the piece with just 1. And then we need to find the piece with 2 and set it next to each other. We're going to have like a baseline here, and the teal, or your outside color, whatever your main color is, that's going to be what's stair stepped. So here's the 3, the 4, and the 5. And you can start to see our little checkerboard is coming together here. And eventually we'll have the centerpiece and the 6 on here, but that comes later, that part. But you can start seeing it come together. So we need to do this with all the other ones. Kind of made a little mess here. Okay, 2. Here's another 2. So, see what I did here? I actually sewed one together like this on accident, but the teal, remember the teal, your outer color, is the one that has to stair step. So, that goes there. Let's get the 3s. And the 4s. And a 5. So there'll be 5 in each. Okay, I do like laying them out like this. First of all, it's kind of our first glimpse at what it's going to look like. And it's going to look so cool, I think. But it also helps me sew. So I'm going to start with sewing the first 2. We're going to chain sew this whole thing like how we've been doing. So I'm going to start with the first 2 columns of each. We're going to do that. And then I'm going to take them off the machine and sew the next column to it, and then the next column, and we're just going to go around and around and around until we have all of these guys done. So we're going to go to the machine now, and just know that that's how I'm grabbing from here. All right. I think we'll have enough time to sew a little bit here. Got a few minutes yet. So first 2 together. They're clearly different sizes, so that's going to be a little awkward, but just know that that's part of the deal. All right, and we're going to just sew up, and I'm going to actually sew all the way along the edge. We're eventually going to cut that off, and it's just easy for me to chain piece if I just keep going all the way up. They're like so. So it gets the next two. Oh, did I? Oh, I see that. Okay. I saw someone, Randy says, is she going to miss it? So this one I had upside down. So that's the good catch. Like, what did I miss? Oh, I must have one upside down. Good. Good catch. So this is where the sewing gets a little putzier than just sewing like nice long strips, but it's kind of fun. All right, this is our first grouping, and I'm just gonna take these three off. Let's snip them. I don't have my little seam ripper tool anymore, but that's fine. Just gonna use the scissors. Okay. So here's the first two. Let's grab one from the next column. And we're going to sew those together. But here's where those opposite seams come. So like here, if I flip this around, this was an even one and this was an odd one. So the seams are in opposite directions. Like this one's pointed down and this one's pointed up. When we put them together, it looks like this. So one's pointed one way and one's pointed the other, but you can see the fold that it's made. The fold is kind of like thick. So those folds actually bump up against each other, and it actually is kind of hard to move. That you can feel it physically that it can't move, and that locks it in place. And if I can just hold it there, and then I'll just grab my stiletto and get that in there too. That should make our seams match up so they go perfectly across and match so it doesn't look like a little stair step. So let's just do that for all of these, and I can take that last one off that was still on the machine. We'll do that one next. Okay, so I'm going to bump those seams together there. All right, two more, and we can take those off. If we can get these groups of 5 done tonight, that would be awesome. Still need our edges to match up too, so let's get this guy over. All right, last one of the 3s. It's a little awkward, like I said, with the pieces not being the same size. I'm always starting at the bottom and letting it run off this side, because then I know at least the bottom where all these line up is accurate, and then if it gets weird at the end here, like stretches out, that's fine, because I'm going to be cutting it away. All right, so let's separate all of these guys again. All right, so let's check this out. All right, so that's that seam going right across that we matched up. So it's not jogging up, it's not jogging down a little bit. It looks like one straight line going across, and that's the goal. I will not always get that probably, but that is the goal. And the nesting the seams, which is what it's called with them going in the opposite direction like that. It's called nesting the seam. That helps get that effect. So now this one, I actually have 2. I have this one down here and then this one up here. So I'm going to start off with the first one, and then while it's on the machine, I'm going to try and match the second one. And you can match them all beforehand. I think it took about the same amount of time. I think we tested it once, and it wasn't, so I'm actually physically feeling those folds go together again. I think it just took about the same amount of time to line it up as I go versus lining it all up beforehand. All right, let's get the last piece off there. Getting that first one going. All right, so I'm making sure my needle's down, so when I like move this around and stuff, that needle will be holding my fabric in place. And I always kind of stop once it's holding down that first seam. All right, flip. Luann says, we're watching your every move, so keeping an eye on if I'm making a mistake. The problem is I have to make sure that I look up at the right time so I don't miss it. All right. Oop, my seam allowance flipped up. All right, last one there, and then we just have the 5th set done, and then that is basically that. I think we'll have time to press them tonight, hopefully, and then we can lay it out. I won't do more, but we'll actually be able to lay it out and see what it looks like with the rest of the pieces. So we'll get a real sense of what this block will look like, I think, by the time we're done here. All right, let's get these guys snipped again. And we can do our number 5 set. Oh, see, no, here. That's a little bit of a jog. I did not line that one up as perfectly as there. So that's what I'm saying. If you don't get those seams nested quite right, you'll get that little mini stair step. So there you go. And that could be like I didn't sew my strips perfectly together, so some strips are a little bit wider than others. I just maybe the sewing machine pulled the top differently than the bottom, and they came separated. There's all sorts of, or like, maybe one fabric stretches more than the other. There's all sorts of dumb little things on why it might not line up at the end. Or I just, maybe let go of it. But we're doing our best. This is not too bad. A little bit of a jog. It's always kind of fun, just checking the work a little bit. It helps I find that if I'm doing the same thing over and over again, I can be like, dang, how do I fix that if I'm still doing that? So I can either research it a little bit or try some different things. But I do like kind of seeing if there's a thing that goes wrong often. That's why I was trying to improve my seam allowances for a while, but and I think it did go a little bit better. But I know with all these ones that we put together, my seam allowances are not great. Oh gosh, look at how far away that one is. These might all be pretty wonky. But yeah, because I was sewing those strips all over the place over the past couple days. But oh well. It's handmade, not store-bought, so gotta have some of those mistakes in there. But that doesn't mean, just because I'm okay with the mistakes doesn't mean I don't want to learn why they're happening and what I can do to improve. But I don't care enough to undo a seam and redo it. All right, last one, then we can press these. That's always fun. Yeah, they're all a little off on that second one. It's so fun to see these develop. Here's the poor one with that I flipped the fabric the wrong way. Come on, guy. All right. All right, and that's that. So let's get the leader going because we had to take it off the machine. So now this is different. So earlier, when I still had strips to sew, instead of using a leader, I would just sew the next strip for the next block. So we are kind of missing out on that process, which is a bummer, but it does feel nice to have all those sewn too. We'll just get to sew more leaders. All right. So here's our little chain piece things. I'm just going to use the scissors, not our little contraption that we made. It's not too much to cut. But there we go. We got our little kind of stair step going. So we need to press these. And I'm going to press them away, the seam allowance away from our stack of 5. So this is the last one we sewed on. So I'm going to flip that around and we're going to press the seam allowances away. So we just have these 4 to do. And then after this, we will lay out our piece and see how it looks. We'll get like the real glimpse of what this block might look like and getting those other colors in. Because remember, we have that row of 6 over here and our centerpiece. The same. Oh yeah, Kathy is saying in the larger view of the finished quilt, that seam that is a teeny bit off, you'll never see that. Very, very, very true. And you know what? I'm betting a whole lot of store-bought stuff is going to have way worse seams than the ones that we're doing here. Or no seams at all, you know what I mean? You can't buy a quilt like this. They don't make things like that in stores these days. Okay, looking good. So let's take a peek at our block. So remember we look how much they shrunk up from when we laid them out before. But now all we have to do is rotate them to the center. And let's stick that center guy right in there. And then we can take our 6er pieces, and again the teal, whatever your outer color is, that's going to stay on the outside. So it'll go like so. Ooh, this one's sharp. I like all these blues and that green in there. All right, so that is a glimpse at what our block will be like. So tomorrow we'll sew this together. So all we have to do, we actually have like 9, like a 9 patch is a term in quilting when you have 9 squares that you're sewing together, 3 rows of 3, and that's basically what we have. We have this chunk, this, that's our first row of 3, this is our second row of 3, and this is our third row of 3. So we're going to sew like the first 2 columns together, like how we've been doing, and then we're going to sew the third column. So then we'll have our 3 pieces, then we will press them, and then sew those rows together, and we will have our finished block. And then all we have to do is cut off the edges so it's nice and square like these guys. Awesome, so that was great. I think we will definitely be able to finish this one and maybe a whole nother one tomorrow. I'm hoping so. We might actually just go until we finish the one tomorrow so we don't have any loose ends. No more loose ends on here. Oh, and just because I'm seeing this, you guys, we have our new embroidery of the months out. I know a lot of you have already gotten these. So this is our cute little bat, and then we have the nice little dressed up pumpkin jack-o'-lantern there. So this is on a tea towel, and then this one actually comes with the tea towel and all the floss, and then this guy comes with the hoop and some white fabric. But this is like, we released 2 this month, so there we go. They are up there, and you guys, they are all mailed already. So if you ordered it, earlier today and yesterday, the first 2 days of the month, yours are in the mail. So you should get them, as soon as mail gets to places these days. All right, you guys, let's see again. All right, so thank you all for joining me here again. It was nice to sew all those strips, but it really does feel good to start seeing these guys come together. So that's the fun part. I'm realizing that, yeah, strips are fun, but this is really the fun part when it develops, when those strips get cut into the magic tiny squares and we start getting that checkerboard look to it. So awesome again. Thank you for joining me. I really appreciate it, and I love hanging out with you guys here. And I will see you tomorrow. Have a great evening. Good night.